If you're like me, you're always trying to improve your game on Warzone. I made a settings video a little while ago which proved to be pretty popular, and I did cover audio settings very briefly, but many people wanted more of a breakdown of individual audio settings and essentially an update of what the best audio settings are. So here we are with the best audio settings in Warzone. The first thing to know is that the best settings are kind of subjective and depend on what gear you have and how you approach the game. But all will be revealed for you with whatever equipment you have and however you play the game. Let's start with the Midnight Mode preset. This is designed for players playing late at night, as the name suggests, and don't want to be disturbing their household. This works by equalizing the audio. What does this mean? Well, it means you get a much smaller range of volume, so the explosions and loud in-game sounds are brought down to a similar level as everything else. It's less immersive, but much nicer for the ears in my experience. It's probably the setting you want to have on if you don't have a headset and you're playing it just through your TV sound. Now we're on to home theatre. Again, this is for people without headsets, but instead, as the name suggests, have a home theatre. This has a large range of audio in volume and frequency for systems that can handle it. So you're gonna get the big, bassy explosions and the immersive gunfire. This really is for people who have a 3.1 to 5.1 surround sound. If you do have higher levels of 7.1 surround sound, then you can choose dynamic home theatre, which stretches the boundaries of those frequencies even more. This will basically make Modern Warfare and Warzone sound like a film at the cinema. At this level, you're probably going to be experiencing something on par with decent headsets. Of course, you don't have the noise cancelling aspect of headsets like blocking out next door neighbour's dog, but you do get the quality output audio. Next, we've got Studio Reference. These are the settings that the actual creators of the audio within Modern Warfare and Warzone would like you to use if you had the equipment for it. What I mean by this is, if you've got a really high-end, top-tier headset, then you're gonna benefit from this setting. It is more about realism and immersiveness though, as opposed to gaining an advantage against your opponents. For example, a realistic audio representation of footsteps isn't that they're particularly loud, especially compared to the backdrop of everything else that's going on. But if you're in Warzone, you want to hear the footsteps, right? This brings us to the boost options, which are arguably the most popular. We've got Boost General, Boost High, and Boost Low. The General Boost setting makes the lower and higher frequencies louder, whereas Boost High just boosts the high frequencies, and Boost Low, you guessed it, elevates the lower frequencies. So think about what you want to hear more of in the game and where they sit in your ear. Are they high-pitched or low and bassy? If we're talking about footsteps, they register in the lower end of the frequency, which is why many people, including myself, run Boost Low. But that doesn't detract from the positives that some of the other presets have. To get an advantage in-game, we're looking at Boost Low, Dynamic Home Theatre, or Studio Preference. But for most people on Warzone, you just want to hear footsteps easier to get more wins, so Boost Low is for you. Some general tips to hear footsteps easier in-game, by the way, before I very briefly cover some other minor audio settings, is that enemy footsteps sound quieter if the door is closed and if the window has the glass still in it. So you could break glass on windows to hear more clearly, but this does leave you vulnerable to a dead silence push, but it is absolutely something to be aware of. Okay, other audio settings very quickly. Master, pop it on 100. There's no reason to go lower than this, especially because you can control the source volume with your headset or TVs anyway. Music we want at 0. This takes out all extra distractions in-game. You don't need the dramatic COD music kicking in when you're in the endgame with a team swarming around. That's dramatic enough, and you want to hear exactly what they're up to. Put the dialogue low, but not completely off. Maybe 20ish or so you can hear characters, including the enemy, shout stuff out. You've probably heard the odd "planting claymore" and thought, who the hell just did that? Well, this setting keeps you in the loop. Finally, for effects, put that up to 100. Effects are things like footsteps and gunfire, which you absolutely want to hear to gain an advantage. Everything else is just subjective and up to you. I'm not going to tell you to turn off war tracks and stop listening to Rick Astley. By collectively using all of these settings, you can reduce the extra noise and distractions, and essentially focus on the important audio cues which are going to help you get more kills and win more games. So that's everything for this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, you could always subscribe for more Call of Duty videos, shorts and streams. Bye for now.